Hello there, Seraphim17 once again. This is The Witcher 2 Dark Mode Difficulty video walkthrough. We're in Chapter 1, and this is Troll Trouble. So we're talking to, I think his name is Korab, or Chorab, this dude here in this hut in Labinden. And he wants us to help the troll. And to do this, you have to talk to the troll, which we've already done in a previous mission. And then when you come and speak to this guy, he's going to elucidate you on some details. So, when you go to the troll's lair and you talk to the troll is going to reveal that it is an alcoholic and that it used to keep the bridge maintained. And it used to take a healthy tax for doing so, which it didn't pay tax on, which people were kind of pissed at. But for the most, it was a good thing. It was a good arrangement. When you come into this room here, this is the room with this guy. He is a craftsman. He actually has the head of the troll's wife, and the reason why the troll is in such a bad mood and drinking so much is because he misses his dead wife. And the side quest can go in a couple ways. You can kill the troll, which is what I thought I would do on this playthrough, but then I couldn't bring myself to do it, which is not like me at all, because I'm normally a cutthroat on most games. I am the evilest motherfucker ever on almost every game that gives me the option to do it, because I just enjoy, you know, being evil in games. I think it's fun. And it's one of those things where, you know, I'm not evil in real life, so I might as well be evil in a place where there's no repercussions, because that way it stops me from going to prison for murdering people and for wielding a giant sword and running around with a white ponytail. But we're going to head back to the bridge now, to where the troll is. You're going to fight him a little bit, and then he's going to tell you to stop, and at that point you have the option to kill him, or you have the option to do this plot thread. And if you're an achievement or a trophy guy, there is achievements and trophies for both, for either saving all the trolls and keeping them alive, or killing all the trolls. And there's only one who's a dick, and he's a random one who's kind of in this offbeat cave in Vergen. And he's the only one who I can, you know, kill without feeling anything on the old conscience.
No.
But another pro to playing this game on PC will be the load times. As you've no doubt noticed in this guide, I've done my best at times to remove as many as I can. And the people watching this probably think this is the fastest loading Witcher 2 they've ever seen at times. Other times I've missed them, which does happen because there's a fucking ton. But on console, it loads everything. And it's the same on PC, but on PC it does it quicker, because PCs obviously are stronger machines. And it's one of my biggest gripes with the game, and it's a very small one because it doesn't affect gameplay too much. It's just, when you're playing a modern and a recent game, loading is the last thing that should be, you know, catching your attention. And it's one of my many hopes for the new consoles, just to get rid of loading. And I know we can't completely eradicate it because it's something that necessitates everything that happens in every game, but I really would like it to not be a factor, or to have an optimized and progressive means of doing it. For instance, loading while we're playing would be really nice. And a couple of games have done things like that. I think Tony Hawk's did it on one of its open world games, where you would hit these tunnels, and the tunnels were the most bland, identikit long stretches of terrain, but the game was loading and it still let you play while it was happening, which I will take that any day over sitting and looking at a fucking screen, because it's just no fun watching like an hourglass turn or something circle incessantly. And there needs to be an extension on what loading is, because, you know, maybe we could turn it into something cool. And one of the best examples of loading I've seen, which was one of the first I have seen, and that was on the original Tekken for the PlayStation. And I think I've mentioned this before, so do indulge me, guys. I've spoke on nearly 3,000 videos, so I'm probably going to start repeating myself at some point. But when you booted the game, because the game took so long to load, because it was, you know, so powerful and so tough to load, it literally let you play Space Invaders. And there were times when I booted that game where I wanted to play fucking Space Invaders, so whenever it did load, I'd just reset it again, which is kind of hilarious. But just the notion of a game within a game to separate the monotony from the fun, which I think is a great idea. But now we're back with this dude. You want to mention the troll's deed, the bargain that you've made, and you also want to go up to the head and examine it, because obviously it's a troll head, and we're talking to a troll, and lo and behold, it's his missus.
I don't just play anyone. Tell you what.
But they simplified a lot of things from Witcher 2 to Witcher 1. And I'm glad they did, because one of the things I've only just realised on the first game is that you need flints to sit at bonfires, to light fires and either meditate or use alchemy, or level up. And if you don't have flint, you can't do that, and I didn't realise, so I ended up selling all my flint, which kind of screwed me for about 5 minutes until I found another one. But you can't change the time unless you find a fire, or unless you speak to an NPC that allows you to rest. And it's weird because there seems to be no real control over which NPC lets you rest as opposed to which do. And there are times when you're running around this game and it's a much bigger game than this one, or it seems to be, from what I've experienced, just wider and more robust, less linear and less focused, where you literally can't pass time, and a lot of the missions on that game are very specific about time of day. And it's kind of frustrating, especially having played this one, which is, you know, much more streamlined. But there's a lot of things that have carried over, like the dice playing is identical, the fist fights are not identical, and I really like them on PC because they're stupid. I mean, on console they're pretty dumb, because all you have to do is do the quick time events, but on PC it's all in aid of the way the combat works, which is timing your attacks and holding the right mouse click to evade. And what it turns into is you can literally jab, hold the right mouse button immediately after, dodge a punch, jab, immediately dodge a punch, jab, and just do that, and you will jab their face off and not take a single bit of damage. It is so broken and stupid, but it's hilarious to watch. But things like the alchemy is so much more complicated. It's a little baffling at times, and on that game there is a potion called a swallow, which is on this one as well, and I believe it does the same thing, but on that game it's the only real way to heal except for eating food, and eating food just seems to do fuck all. So I need to get enough stuff to make the swallows, but once again, you'll notice how I just picked up some celadon there. On the first Witcher, if you don't know what the herb is or what the spices are that you're picking up, you can't even pick them up. You have to research them in books or through like alchemists and shit before you can even pick up a random bit of grass. It's super anal and specific, and I mean there's a coolness to that, but at the same time it's a pain in the ass. But still kind of interesting. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I just can't play it as much as I would like, because A, I've been busy with, you know, live stuff and various other things, and B, when it gets to night time, when I plug in my headset when I'm playing that game, I get an audio feedback loop when I'm playing. So there's this awful like oscillation of static and noise that comes through my fucking headset, which, ooh, that was a big hit. Which is a Triton headset, it is, you know, 170 quid headset, and still, you know, feedback loops. And I've tried, you know, removing all the unnecessary USBs and all the different things to try and, you know, get rid of it, and I just can't. It just seems to be a constant thing, and it's annoying because I can't play the game at night, and I do most of my game playing at night because I'm generally busy through the day. Even though I had a lovely gentleman today trying to tell me that all I do is play games 24/7, which would be pretty impressive, because with all the shit that's going on in my life, how would I find the time to do that? Especially now I've started writing again, which steals so much time. But that right there is a pretty tough fight. I made it look quite simple because the Espadon is strong and I've done it a few times, but it's one of those cases where when I first came up here on my, you know, original playthrough, I got my ass slapped. So make sure you save before the encounters so you don't lose too much progress. And I'm hoping in future, when PC games go to console, they're going to have a button, you know, shortcutted to quick saving, because quick saving is great, and it just pisses me off that on console they don't seem to have that at all. You know, everybody knows on PC if you press F5 you're probably going to quick save. Either that or you might crash your game. But on console there's nothing, and you know, almost every game I play these days has a button they don't use. So why not? It just seems like it'd make so much more sense. But back down with the troll, anyhow. See what he has to say for himself.
What?
Oh, here we go.
I pun-
I found your mate's murderers.
I
Go on, Geralt, you tell him.
no.
And the models on this game look significantly better than they did in the first one. And I know there's a big gap between them, so you can't really hold it against, you know, the first Witcher. But Geralt looks so good in this game, he really does. I think his character model is just superb. And on the first game, he looks kind of weird. And especially with the combat, because there's 3 different stances, and in all the stances, he does this really weird move, like this animation loop of being ready to fight, and he just looks like a massive tit. But thanks for watching, and as always, you take care now.